I want to talk about something that a former DC star actually said the other day. Zachary Levi. I think he's a pretty nice guy, but I also feel like he is kind of perturbed about the way everything went down with his movie Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. He spoke out about that, says he didn't feel like it was effectively marketed, like families didn't know it was out, things like that. Well, we are nearing the end of the DCEU as we know it. Zachary Levi's Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods has been one of the flops that happened this year, along with Blue Beetle, The Flash, and of course, Aquaman is looking to wrap up the DCEU before it reboots to the DCU, led by James Gunn. And with a lot of casting news coming out, we saw something that I suppose isn't exactly a surprise. You followed James Gunn, all of his movies. His brother, Sean, is in almost every one of them. Oftentimes, it might be in just a smaller role. In Guardians of the Galaxy, that turned into a much bigger role. But he recently got cast as a pretty big DC villain, Maxwell Lord. And it brought out a lot of criticism that people have had for a while about James Gunn. Critical Drinker says, I just can't figure out why all these people with close personal connections to James Gunn keep getting cast in James Gunn projects. Must be a total coincidence. And, it's one thing when it's Nathan Fillion or Michael Rooker, when they get put in stuff, but when it is your family, it's a little bit different, right? You got your Michael Rooker story.
Yeah.
But when it's your brother, when it's your wife that is all of a sudden getting put into everything, people are going to come out and criticize. Zachary Levi threw a little bit of shade the other day during an interview. I don't think it's super serious. I don't think it's super bitter necessarily, but it was interesting to hear him say what everybody else has also been thinking. Zachary Levi on Sean Gunn, when you're the brother of the guy who runs DC, you get to play who you want. And it came in this interview where he got asked about, would you ever be open to playing a different character like some of these other people? And it kind of goes from there.
Are you interested at all in going like the Jason Momoa or Sean Gunn route and just playing a whole new character, since this is like a new universe rebooting?
What do you mean, a new character?
I think Jason Momoa is playing. He's not going to be Aquaman anymore. He's playing somebody else. Sean Gunn, it just was announced, is playing Maxwell Lord.
But Sean was never established in the DC universe. So I mean, he's played Marvel characters, but but this is his first DC character.
No, he was Calendar Man.
He's been two people in one movie already.
And he was Weasel, and he's been
in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those were kind of more like cameo-ish. I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know. Listen, when you're the brother of the guy who runs DC, I guess you get to play whoever you want.
And they took that quote and ran with it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And I think there's reason to be critical of it. Obviously, if you're somebody, people, these actors, you want to work with people you can trust, you want to work with people that you know are going to work well. Your brother obviously falls in there. But when it is every single thing, of course you're going to come over criticism, especially once it became his wife as well. Once Jennifer Holland started appearing in everything, whether it was the DC stuff or even Guardians of the Galaxy 3 he put her in, you're going to get fucking criticism. And I think it's going to come from everywhere. I don't think Zachary Levi is happy about the way things ended with DC, especially his last flop. It seems like he still wants to play the character, and they have no interest in him doing that going forward. So maybe that's part of why he ends up saying that. But overall, he's saying what a lot of other people are thinking.
The last Shazam movie was a massive mess, too. And correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Shazam supposed to be at the end of Black Adam and not Henry Cavill? Wasn't that supposed to be something? I could be wrong. Maybe I was just reading like rumors or something, and they changed it to Henry Cavill.
There was a lot of stuff that went down between different factions of studio because Black Adam didn't want his shit to be connected to Shazam at all. Right. He didn't want to do anything with that character. He wanted to be separate, even though it obviously would have made a lot of sense for them to do something together. Yeah, he wanted to be all about him and Superman.
Even James Cameron, he's found like a list of people that he really likes to work with. These people don't give me any problems. I know how to direct them. So let me just hire them. So it's not surprising. James Gunn is like, hey, I got a lot of stress on me to like bring this superhero to life, to bring this whole new DCEU to life. So I might as well surround myself with people that I won't have to like worry so much about. Makes sense. But yeah, he's gonna get criticism for that.
I don't really mind Sean Gunn in like those like kind of smaller roles. Him as my Maxwell Lord, so that is a pretty big. That's the guy who Pedro Pascal played in Wonder Woman 1984. I don't think that was a very good like interpretation of the character. Life is good, but it could be better. But yeah, it's
That's
Sean
the one
Gunn's going to
line.
be
The
in
one
DCU.
line. If you were working on a major project and you had people that like your family, you think that would be a big issue if you hired them? Or
I think when it's every movie,
yeah, it
Yeah.
starts to show a little bit, right? Yeah.
to be fair, I actually have really liked most of the castings that we've got from James Gunn's DCU. We're not seeing like race ups. We're actually seeing redheads cast where redheads are supposed to be, right? We're seeing people that actually look like the characters they're supposed to represent, which I think is a great thing. I don't have too many complaints, but for the most part, you know, we're getting fairly accurate comic book castings. Who knows what they'll look like on screen? Who knows what they'll sound like? Who knows what the characters will be like?
the
But
story will
overall,
be, yeah.
you know, kind of it's okay for me. The castings have been okay for me. But yeah, I do think that people are kind of right to be critical of that. Is Sean Gunn really the best person for the role? Right? Is he
that's
really the
true.
best person for this role? Is it just your brother and you want to make sure you get him part of this thing because you trust him, because you work out, whatever it may be? I don't know. That's
Well
just me
said.
looking at it that way.
No, I agree.